King James was King James VI of Scotland and King James I of England.
And now we will be talking about our portraits. We picked these portraits because they varied in the objects. And this first portrait was the first one when he was younger, and you can kind of tell he was in Scotland because of the color around him. And for your information, this is not a skirt or a kilt. It is a type of short or garment. And you can see he probably got out of the chair to pose. And are there any observations you guys would like to make?
Omari?
Oh, the hat on the first picture to the left is fluffy.
It's what?
Fluffy.
Felix?
I think the most royal color in both Scotland and England was white, because King James was wearing mostly white and red.
I'm red.
Okay. And this is the second picture, and we believe that this is about a year before he died. So he's old and sitting down in a chair because he has gotten older and he can't stand. And his staff is right there.
Are there any observations?
Okay. The third picture is right here. You can tell he's in England because in these two pictures we know in this picture he's in England and he's also wearing red and white, so we infer that he is. And this right here, it's called a sovereign orb. It looks like it looks like that. There's a larger version. It's like an orb with a cross on it, and it's held in the left hand, and it's passed down from generation to generation. This right here is a pin. It's because he published the King James Bible, and he was involved in the law a lot. And he's wearing a lot of jewels on his robes because of a sign of royalty. Does anyone have any observations?
And we drew the fourth picture,
Yeah.
and he is holding.
Wait, Alex.
Never mind. And he is holding the King James Bible, which he published, and he is holding the sovereign orb as a sign of royalty.
And can we just pretend that this orb is in his left hand because it is normally held in his left hand? But when you're facing this way, it is. If you like. Okay, now we are going to move on to the timeline. Okay. In 1566, King James Stuart was born on June 19th.
In 1567, Mary Stuart, Queen of Scots, was forced off the throne.
In 1567, James Stuart became King James VI of Scotland. And then in 1582, King James is kidnapped by some Protestants, and what we inferred he was Catholic, and this was at first, then we found out that he was actually another type of Protestant. So Catholics actually kidnapped him. But he got out 10 months later, and we'll explain that in our song.
Yes, we will.
In 1587, Mary Stuart, Queen of Scots, is executed by a choice of Queen Elizabeth I.
In 1589, King James marries Anna, Princess of Denmark.
In 1600, Prince Charles is born in Dunfermline.
And then in 1603, Queen Elizabeth dies, and James becomes King James I of England. In 1611, James dissolves Parliament, so Duke of Somerset rises to power. And Parliament is a group of people that are friendly, I guess, with each other. I looked it up in the dinosaurs there.
In 1612, problems arise in James.
1616.
In 1616, problems arise in James Court, which led to more power to Duke of Buckingham.
In 1618, King James executed Sir Walter Raleigh. Then in 1625, King James dies, and he had suffered a fever, a cold, a stroke, and many more things. Okay, and now I think we'll be doing our song. We're just going to close it up for a second while we sing this song. And the song is our dance and song. In 1566, King James was born on the day of June 19th. In 1567, his mother was forced off the throne. He was made the king, King James the Sixth of Scotland, when he was 1 year old. When he was 1 year old. When he was 1 year old. In 1582, I was kidnapped. 1 month, 2 month, 3 month, 4 month, 5 month, 6 month, 7 month, 8 month, 9 month, 10 month. But then I got away. In 1589, he married Anna, Princess of Denmark. In 1603, it was a tragedy. First died. Since he was her cousin, twice removed, he came to King James, the first of England, and then one day, who saved America, only to find that they couldn't survive. But then they found tobacco, they made a fortune off of it, but I did not agree with that. That was in 1607. Then in 1618, they executed Sir Walter Raleigh. Then in 1620, the Battle of White Mountain occurred. Then in 1625, on the day of March 27, I died. He had suffered a fever, a cold, a stroke, and many more other horrible things. That was that. Now we will do the facts. Okay, the first fact is he became King of England when Queen Elizabeth I died.
Queen Elizabeth had married Queen of Scots and who was King James's mother, executed.
He became king when he was 1 year old.
He was kidnapped in 1582.
James's last name was Stuart, but in England it was spelled Stewart, and in Scotland it was spelled Stuart. As a king, King James had to learn many different languages, such as Greek, Latin, French, English, Scots, and many more. And now we'll play our game. Okay, everyone pick a partner close to you. And you share your card with that person.
Keep it and feel it so you don't.
And our game is like bingo. The numbers represent dates, and we'll tell you what the dates represent. And we don't have any markers, so you're just gonna have to check it off.
Olivia, somebody might need to take control.
Okay, everybody, who still needs a card? No, you were. Sure, yeah.
There's a card on the door here. Okay, what we will do, we will be calling out important dates in King James's life. And if you have that date on your card, you may mark it with a pen or a pencil, and we will not be reusing these cards. cards, so you can go ahead and do whatever you want. And it's only a cross, as you can see